DreAllDay.com.
Before we start, please like and comment on this video so I can get your feedback. Also, click that subscribe button so you can get all the new content I'm dropping on this channel. And the free book, the mental handbook, physical book, Work on Your Game University, just take care of the shipping and handling, send this right to your doorstep. Let's get started. What's going on, everybody? Dre Baldwin with DreAllDay.com. Today's video, we want to talk about working your mind. Players ask me about this often. I get a ton of comments whenever I mention this in the video, I get a ton of comments about it because this is it's not an easy topic to describe. It's not something easy for someone to understand because it's very abstract. Telling somebody to work on their brain, because what's going on in your mind, what you're thinking, you can't see another person's thoughts. Even if someone tells you what they're thinking, they could be lying to you. And it's not anything hard that I can just say, if you do this, this, and this, is automatically going to put you in a certain frame of mind, because we are all wired differently mentally. I could tell you to do a certain exercise mentally that works perfect for me. It gets me in the right state of mind, whatever I want to get to. But if you do the same thing, it might not do anything for you. It might make you get the complete opposite result. Usually not the opposite, but you understand what I'm saying. We're wired differently. Just because something works for person A does not necessarily mean it will work for person B. Unlike with basketball training, for example, if I say, listen, if you do these drills, working on your left hand every day, your left hand ball handling, your ability to finish with your left hand will improve, guaranteed. I guarantee anyone who does those drills, you're going to get better, because when you do those practices that way, the way that I'm showing you, you can see it, you can explain it to another person, is clear and is evident right in front of your face. You can visually see it in the physical space. I know that's going to get a result. But things that you can't see, like the way that you think, is a lot harder to explain, which is why you need someone who's an expert on mental toughness, confidence, discipline, a person like myself. So it's your lucky day. Maybe it's your lucky year. Maybe it's your lucky life, because you've been following me on YouTube for a long time. But if you are just now finding me, today's your lucky day, and every day after this will be a lucky day, because now you know you can go through my back catalog and everything I'm going to share with you here today about how to work on your mind. How do you work on your mind as an athlete? This can be you as an athlete. This can be you as an entrepreneur. This can be you as a writer. This can be you as a ballet dancer. Whatever you do, you need that mental toughness. You need confidence in yourself. You need to be disciplined enough. You need to be focused. You need to have goals. You need to know how to stay positive mentally, stay focused, or keep your mind clear mentally, whatever works for you, despite the negativity around you. That may be coming from other people. It may be in the form of situations that you face. It may be coming from you within, from the years of conditioning you've had of negative thinking that you might not even know you're doing. So those are all things that I help people with. So you're in the right place. And let me explain to you how you can work your mind, even when you're not available, even when it's not an option for you to work your body. That's the first thing that I thought when I made this video. Players sometimes say, well, if I can't work my body, players will say to me, and again, I'm using basketball players as an example for everyone watching, because my background is as a basketball player. So a lot of basketball players come to me, and a lot of my videos are about basketball. So I'm using basketball as an example for those who don't understand why I'm saying that. They say, well, Dre, I got injured. I broke my arm, and the doctor said, well, doctor ain't even got to tell you. You know, if you broke your arm and your arm's in a cast, you can't play basketball. Or something's wrong with my leg. I got a leg injury or a knee injury, or I'm in a cast, or some type of injury where you can't get on the court and play basketball. You can't use your body in a way that is necessary to actually play a game of basketball. You can't do it. What can you do? You're on crutches. How can you work on your basketball game? Maybe you don't have access to a gym for a particular day or a week. Maybe you're going on vacation. You won't be near a court. How can you still keep improving yourself for your sport or for your business or for whatever you do, even when the actual medium that you practice is not available? I'm going to tell you exactly how to do that. 3 specific things you're going to do that you need to pay very close attention to, the things that I'm going to tell you to do. And you need to understand that just understanding them, just memorizing them, just me saying them is not going to get you the result. What's going to get you the result is using the specific. I'm going to give you some ways to make this actionable, some ways to actually incorporate these things outside of just understanding it and not just going through the motions. Oh, y'all know what I mean when I say going through the motions? Going through the motions is like if I tell you, listen, if you want to be successful in life, you got to set some goals, you got to stay positive, you got to talk to yourself every day, and I mean either internally or actually externally speak to yourself. You got to give yourself positive visualizations, and you got to take action on every single thing you do. And if you follow everything that I just said, you're going to reach success in your life. And if you do all those things, but you're not actually emotionally invested into it, you don't truly believe in it, but you're doing it, you're not going to get the result. And then you can come back and say, well, I did it, but it didn't work, Dre. I tried your technique, and your technique didn't work. Bullshit. The technique always works. What doesn't work is people making sure that they're emotionally invested in what they're doing, really believing in what they're doing in order to get the result. Because if I give you the exact workout that, I don't know, Michael Jordan did, Steph Curry did, Kyrie Irving did, whoever else you want to name in any field did, and you did the exact thing that they did, but you don't get the result, you can't say it doesn't work, because obviously it worked for them. So the only thing that didn't work is you. And there's usually something that's going on up here. People say, well, what about this jump program, Dre? I got this program that'll help you jump higher. And they say, well, if I get the program, I'll try it and it didn't work. What if it doesn't work for me? Listen, the program will work for anyone who actually believes it and does what they're told. If you don't follow the instructions or you don't believe it completely, of course it's not going to work, because you're not committed. If you're not committed to something, you're not going to get the same result as someone who is committed, even if you do the exact same actions. And this is what people use as an out clause, as an excuse to fail. Now, if that's you, listen, you can keep watching this video if you want, but nothing I'm going to say here is going to help you. Nothing I'm going to say on this channel, period, is ever going to help you if you like to use things as convenient excuses to fail, or excuses to quit, or excuses to blame anyone other than yourself for your lack of results. I want to make sure I'm putting that out there as a disclaimer before I even go into this, so I can save you a whole bunch of time, save me the time of having to read and respond to your bitch ass comments or anything else. I want to make sure that's clear before I continue. So now that that's out the way, and we got those people, they done left this video, let's get into how you can actually work on your body, work on your mind rather, even when you can't work on your body or work on your physical game. This is how you work on your mental game. And I think all of you probably know by this point, with all the information in the world, that your mental game is just as, if not 10 times more important than your physical game. And so I'm not even going to explain why that's important. So let's get right into it. What's the number one thing you can do to work on your mind? Number one thing that I'm going to tell you, actually, these are 3 specific things. They're not in order. All right, this is 3 things. Number 1, read books. Read. Reading is the number one thing you're going to do to work on your mind. And again, number 1, number 2, number 3, that doesn't make it more important. It's just the 3 things I'm giving you, just the order that I did it. Reading books. And the reason I made sure I'm specifically saying reading books, I'm not saying read the comments on YouTube, or read a blog post, or read, I don't know, something on medium.com, or read a magazine. No. Read a actual book. Y'all know the difference between a book and a magazine, right? A book and a blog post. Y'all know the difference, right? Read a book. Go on Amazon.com, or better yet, go to dreallday.com/Amazon and read my books. You need to read books. Why do I say read a book over read a blog post or read a magazine? This is why. Because an author who writes a book puts a whole lot more time and thought and planning into it than an author who writes a blog post. I can sit down right now, if you handed me a computer, I could write a blog, in 5 minutes I have a blog post, it'd be done. It'd be some useful information, but it doesn't take as much deep thought as it might take me to write a book. I might take a month, a year, 2 years to write a book. I might have to live 5 years of life to write a book, to tell you what happened over those 5 years, whatever the book happens to be about. There's much more time invested, much more thought and planning invested into a book, which is why they say if you want to hide something from people, put it in a book, because that's where very valuable information is. If someone they put a lot of investment into writing that book. It doesn't take that much investment to write a blog. Now, blogs come in all different shapes, sizes, and lengths. So I'm not saying there's something wrong with blogging. Should I blog every day? I blog thousands of times in my life. It's on my website. But you need to read books. And another reason why you need to read books is because to read a book takes more investment than to read a blog post. It takes more of an investment to first of all, go buy a book. Second of all, take time out of your day to sit down and read the book. And those are 2 things right there most people won't do. Most people don't read books. Do y'all know there's a study that they take people who graduated from high school, so let's say around age 18 through the rest of their lives, most people never read one more book for the rest of their lives after they get out of school. So we'll say high school or college, even if you go to college. People get out of school, high school or college, they never read one book again for the rest of their lives. That most meaning more than 50% of the population. Now, if you want to, I don't know if you want to be like most people. I'm thinking that you don't. If you're even to this point in watching this video, I'm assuming you don't want to be like most people. Read a book. Go buy some books. And if you need a recommendation or a list of books, is at dreallday.com/read. dreallday.com/read. I might get that link up there if my assistant puts the link up there. If I don't get the link up there, go down in the bottom, my link to my website and the link to the reading page. Dre All Day in the video description. Y'all know where that. dreallday.com/read. I might put it as a card up here too, so y'all can click on that little I button and you get the card. dreallday.com/read. That's where you get a recommendation, a list of books. Ain't not all my books. So you need to read books. It forces you to think, gets you into deeper ideas. It will get your imagination working. It'll trigger parts of your mind that otherwise would not be triggered. And I'm not saying that's because you don't think or because you're not smart, but because you're reading the deep thoughts, the deep planning, the deep research of another person. Two minds are stronger than one mind. You might be the most smart person you know, but if you listen to somebody else's deep thoughts, they may have an idea that you never even considered. So that's number one, read a book. Number two, the skill of visualization. The skill of visualization. Now, all of you have heard of visualization. All of you probably have a pretty okay idea of what it is. Visualization is you physically making yourself see in your mind something that is not actually in your physical space, whether that be a successful thing, it could be a negative thing, it could be something that makes you happy, it could be something that makes you sad. And if you ever visualize something that wasn't even happening, but you got angry, you visualize something that wasn't even happening, but you got upset or sad or disappointed or made yourself cry or made yourself happy. Of course we have. You think about a situation you've been through where you actually got angry at somebody for something that they did or something that they didn't do, or maybe a fight that you got in or argument you got in or something negative that you heard about. You just thought about it so much that you started actually visualizing it happening and you started to get mad. You know what I mean? Something that happened in the past. You started to get happy or get sad or get upset. You know what it is to visualize. So everyone already has the skill of visualization. What you need to start doing is taking control of the skill of visualization. So I'm not teaching you to visualize because you've already been doing it your whole life. What you need to do is learn to control your skill of visualization. So here's what you do. Here's how you start. I'm gonna give you the visualization starter kit. All right. Take 10 minutes out of your day. It's got to be consistent. 10 minutes out of your day and visualize yourself doing your thing, whatever that is, running your business, making a sale, doing a great ballet recital, making a big shot in the game, being a leader on your basketball team, whatever your thing is. And this can be more than one thing. No problem with me. Take 10 minutes out of your day, visualize yourself doing your thing at your highest possible level. You have to tell yourself, don't tell me, tell yourself what that is. What is it? Is it you dribbling the ball for, let's say is 15 seconds left on the clock, your team has a 1-point lead and you just got to get the ball, they inbound the ball to you, there's a guy on you hounding you on defense, you need to handle the ball, get the ball from where you are at that end of the court all the way up to the other end of the floor under pressure without turning the ball over. For whatever reason, the other team forgot that they had to foul, so they're not going to foul on purpose, but you just got to dribble out the clock while that guy's hounding you, trying to steal the ball from you or force you into a turnover. Can you visualize yourself handling that ball for 15 seconds without turning it over? Or 24 seconds or 1 minute or whatever length of time you want to do? Can you visualize yourself sitting down with a high-power possible client, making your entire sales presentation, making the offer, being firm in your offer, overcoming any objections, closing that deal, and getting a check in your hand with a signed contract? Can you visualize yourself doing that? These are things you're going to start visualizing yourself doing. Can you visualize going and speaking to the most attractive girl that you ever been attracted to, that you ever seen in your life, approaching her, starting a conversation, getting her attention, holding the conversation, then closing it by asking her for, I don't know, her phone number, I don't know what y'all do these days, email address, her Snapchat, whatever it is that moves you to the next step, her address, whatever it is. Can you visualize yourself doing that in a confident manner? Talking to that most successful business person, that most attractive girl, playing against the toughest defensive team you ever played against. Visualize yourself doing it at your highest possible level. And the thing about visualization, ladies and gentlemen, is you have to visualize every minute detail, every little thing. There's no detail that's too small. Every detail of your visualization, because remember, you're visualizing this as if it already happened. If you think about something in your life, the best thing that ever happened to you, you can visualize damn near every detail of it. You can visualize how you looked. You can visualize how you felt from moment to moment. You can visualize the look on the faces of the people in the audience. You can visualize every little detail. Like if you wrote it out in a book, it'd be like pages and pages long. You explaining this visualization because you're giving so many details. That's how books get so long, because they can paint pictures. You ever hear of a rapper or a writer who's really good and people say this person can paint pictures with words? That's what visualization is. Being able to paint a picture with your words that creates a vision in your mind and you can clearly see it even though it doesn't physically exist. That's what visualization is. And you need to start by taking 10 minutes. That's a starter kit. Taking 10 minutes. What it looks and feels like to have what you want. And this needs to be consistent. So 10 minutes is a starter. And then you can up to 15 minutes, 30 minutes, you go up to an hour, you go up to where you're visualizing your entire day. I mean, you still need to pay attention to what's really happening, but where you had that skill of visualization, you're conditioned for it. And one more thing about visualization, last thing about it, is that this can't be something you do just when you don't have nothing else to do. Oh, I ain't got nothing else to do. Let me visualize for 2 minutes while I wait for the bus. No. This has to be, this 10 minutes right here, turn the computer off, turn my phone off, turn the radio off, turn the music off, stop talking to me, visualize. This needs to be scheduled into your day like you schedule in I don't know what you scheduling. You scheduling driving to work. You scheduling eating lunch. You scheduling talking to your mom. Schedule this time in like it's a real thing. And this is the challenge with the visual game, the mental game, is that people can't see it, feel it, and touch it, so they don't treat it as a real thing. If you treat it as a real thing, it'll start getting results for you like a real thing. Number 3, working on your mind, working on your mental game, and when you're not working on your physical game, is you gotta write out yourself at your best. You gotta watch yourself at your best. What does that mean, watch yourself at your best? If you're an athlete, you're a business person, anything you do, a lot of you got a camera on your phone. Record yourself doing your thing. You got video of yourself playing in one of your best games, watch that video. You got video of yourself giving a great talk, a great speech, watch that. Giving a great sales presentation, watch it. Watch yourself at your best. Maybe you wrote about yourself at your best. If you haven't, this is what you do. Get a pen and paper or get on your computer and write out in detail a picture. Explain yourself at your best. When you've done something at your best, title it, Me at My Best. Me at my best, and you're gonna write out everything that entails you being at your best. What is that? That visualization that you did in the second point that I gave you, write that out in detail. What does it look like when I'm at my best? Write that out in detail. Now, how many of you are gonna actually follow this step? Do this, write it out, me at my best. I'm gonna give you a guideline. I actually heard this, saw this on the internet, actually by Tim Grover, the author of Relentless. This is not in his book, but this is something that he said, I think a blog post or something that he wrote a little bit after the release of his book, when he was promoting his book. So make sure you listen very closely to what I'm saying here, and you rewind this back if you need to get this part. Here's what he says. Describe your greatest self, the one deep inside that would emerge if you didn't submit to fear, weakness, and apprehension. Describe your best self on your best day. Now write all that out. I'm gonna read it one more time, and then I'm gonna tell you what he says after that, because there's more. Let me read that part one more time, because you're gonna start writing after this part right here. Describe your greatest self, the one that deep inside you that would emerge if you didn't submit to fear, weakness, and apprehension. Describe your best self on your best day. Write that person out. Now, once you have that written out, here's what comes next. Now, go compete with that person. No doubt that that person will give you a run for your money. And hey, you just might get close. If you do, your competition will be dumbfounded, if not downright decimated. Then they will call you a legend. When in actuality, you just finally let your true potential shine. That's what you need to do as far as writing out, seeing yourself at your best. So if you got a video is great, you need to write it down also. And here's the extra bonus that comes with writing it down. You can look at this every single day. You can read this out loud to yourself every single day. You can read this out loud to yourself all day, every day. What's stopping you? You can tape this to your locker. You can tape this to the mirror at your home, wherever you live. You can put this on your phone, I don't know, the screensaver, make it as a photo. Look at it every single day before you get on the court. Do I need to read that one more time? One more time. I'm gonna read the whole thing out. Describe your greatest self, the one deep inside you that would emerge if you didn't submit to fear, weakness, and apprehension. Describe your best self on your best day. Write that out, your best self on your best day. Now, go compete with that person. No doubt that person will give you a run for your money. And hey, you just might get close. If you do, your competition will be dumbfounded, if not downright decimated. Then they will call you a legend. When in actuality, you just finally let your true potential shine. Everybody, my name is Dre Baldwin. For those who don't know me, many people know me as Dre All Day. My website is called DreAllDay.com. I got a podcast every day. The links are down there. The podcast is every day. It's called Work on Your Game. That's what this stands for right here. My company is Work on Your Game, Inc. And this is what I do. I help people with their mental game. I help people get themselves seen and heard. They're in the business field. They're in the basketball field. On my website, DreAllDay.com, I have a help page that has links and pages and posts about a lot of different things that players ask me about all the time. Nervousness, basketball tryouts, playing overseas, getting recruited to college, walking on at college, how to work on your mental game, aside from what I've shared from you here, how to deal with females, how to deal with people in general, working on becoming an entrepreneur. I cover all of that stuff on my website, DreAllDay.com. I cover it on my podcast every day. It's called Work on Your Game. Again, there's a link to my podcast on my website. and also on Snapchat. My Snap is at Dre Baldwin. I talk about this stuff every single day. So if this is the only place you have ever followed me, you need to follow me in all those other places, because I share different things on different platforms. So you got to make sure you're everywhere so you can get everything I'm sharing. That is, if you see value in it and you think this can help you out. Everybody, work on your game. DreAllDay.com.